Hello friends and welcome back. Welcome to my hobby home. My name is Cathy. Thank you so much for joining me today. Happy Sew a Jelly Roll Day, or National Sew a Jelly Roll Day. I have my fabrics here and my pattern. I finally chose a pattern and it is called Star Watch. It is a carried away quilting jelly roll quilt, finished size 64.5 inches by 74.5. I did get this off of an Etsy shop, so if you're interested in it, if I remember, I'll go to the Etsy shop and tag a link. I did get this as a PDF pattern. It is a form of a log cabin. I've never made a log cabin, so we're going to work on this today. So let me tell you the fabrics I have. My jelly roll is, okay, it says Get Lost in the Woods. I think it's Tara Reid. Let me see what it's called. Yeah, Let's Get Lost in the Woods. The fabrics that I am using is this jelly roll. It's called a roly-poly 40-piece right here. That's what they call it here. It's Let's Get Lost in the Woods by Tara Reid. It does have like some animals, and it's got some beautiful blues in there. Blues and greens and creams and plaids. We will unroll this before you know it. I have, let's see, both of these fabrics are by the same line, or out of the same line. I've already forgotten what it's called. Changes of Seasons by Holly Taylor. This is going to be like my outer border. And stars. There are stars in this pattern, so that's going to be the stars. And this is going to be my inner border. It's, like I said, Changes of the Season. And that's got those beautiful blues in it. So let me show you here. But we've got our brown, our blue, and then my cream color here that you can't see. That's just, I think it's a Moda Basic. I think that's what it's called. I'm not sure. I got this one. Now, I got these two at Stitched in Faith Quilt Shop in Mangham, Louisiana. They have such a beautiful selection of fabrics, guys. Just absolutely beautiful. So if you're ever looking for anything, they do have an online shop. Feel free. I always have their link down in the description just because I love supporting my local quilt shop. And but they do have a website. I have the website down in my description of this video. But you can go look at everything they have. They have such beautiful selections. But we have these blues that go together, that cream. Now that cream is my background. Let me read it and tell you what they are. This is going to be Stars and Outer Border. This is going to be what they call the middle border. So that's all that is. It's just the middle border. And this is going to be the blocks, sashing, and inner border. Now, it does call for 4 yards of backing. Then you have binding. And they show doing a scrappy one out of the pieces of your jelly rolls that are left. So, let me get my fabrics cut, and I will be right back. Well, friends, I am back. I have all of my fabrics cut. I do not plan on getting this whole thing cut. And you can tell it's a different day. It is actually Saturday, September 20th. I'm waiting on my husband to come in. He just worked off. It's quite early in the morning. But I had to come in and look over my instructions again. And I had to set out 25 sets of blocks. So I have them laid down here all over my table. And they're over here on my pressing station. So I have sets of blocks everywhere. So what we are going to try to do is to get all of the log cabins done. I have my instructions here. I've gathered my 25 sets. And I wish I had a table this big sitting over here next to me to do this, but I don't. I have never made a log cabin quilt, so this is going to be quite interesting. I have to get myself a system set up because I am going to chain piece this, which means they're not going to still be with their block, but I'm going to try to keep them in a certain system. I'm probably going to start back here and work from my right to left, and then start here and work right to left on the bottom row, second row, third row. Yes, I have 3 rows on my table here. So let me start grabbing fabrics and we will start assembling. So how I have set this up, I've only pulled 5 over here. The center block is going to be my top block. And that way, even if I get it messed up in the trimming or cutting apart, I will still know that if it's on the top, it's the center block. And y'all are going to hear a cat. I don't know why, but my older cat, he has wanted to be staying outside and then doesn't want to come in. He comes to the door and stands and looks in the house like there is a woolly booger in here or something. He just really is acting afraid. Y'all see what I just did? I dropped my fabric and I had to check to see which one was my log cabin block or my center block. If it's a log cabin stick or the center block. Because how I have them laid here, this is going to be my center block. So I just flip it over. So guys, we are sewing this on National Sew a Jelly Roll Day now, and I hope you are too. You will not see this on National Sew a Jelly Roll Day. I don't think. You may not. It is just according to how much work I can get done today in a small amount of time with my husband. I notice he's already on the road, so it's just a matter, he's probably not even an hour out, so I'm going to see if he wants to go on and get his nap in. I'm going to have to go to town today. I purchased a lamp yesterday. Y'all, this lady was selling this lamp. I had seen it on Kirkland's, and it was on sale for $120. And guys, I might have already told y'all this earlier, but it's a different day, so I don't remember. And she was selling it for $50. $50. And then when I met up with her, we realized we knew a lot of the same people. She actually worked with one of my, well, a while, but she was like one of my best friends. I got out of it. And I will say, I've gotten very relaxed in my appearance since I got out of the corporate world, which I need to kind of unrelax a little bit. Yeah, I'm telling you, I go to work with no makeup. I'm almost not presentable some days. Not that I'm inappropriately dressed or anything, but it's like I had quit wearing makeup. The only jewelry I wear is like my necklace and a watch and my wedding band. I mean, I work with a bunch of guys. Now, if I worked with a bunch of women, yes, I would dress up daily. But I don't. But I'm trying to get back to where I'm not so lax. Hence, the haircut. This was my corporate haircut, guys. It don't look as great this morning because all I did was got up and I just threw a comb over it just a little bit and poofed it up. I'm waiting to see what my husband decides we're going to do today. He is probably going to sleep. But I did get up. I got up quite early. I got up at 4 this morning. And guys, I know I had said in a previous video about how the YouTube, you know, the monetization, it had just gone kind of crazy. Well, I contacted YouTube today because since September 11th, now I know a lot of y'all really don't care about this, but this is something that content creators go through. I use the revenue off of my YouTube to help me purchase supplies, get quilts, long arm, things like that, you know, things that just kind of helps me with the channel, kind of offsets some of my expenses. And the person just kept telling me, well, it's based off of your views and watch time hours. And I'm like, well, my views are about the same per day. And my watch time hours are actually up. Like in 28 days, they're up like 20%. And that's really good. Now, I am a small channel, a very small channel, because I have a very dialed in niche here. And, you know, because if you're not interested in quilting, this is not going to be for you. I just kind of kept telling him, that doesn't make sense. It went down 75%. Actually, yesterday was more than 75%. I average about 1,000 views a day. About. Not quite 1,000. Some days it's better than others, and it just ebbs and flows. And yeah, when I saw $1.70 yesterday, I was floored. I'm like, really? Because I've been probably a little over $10 a day. Just a little bit, not a lot. So I just kind of average and say $10 a day. And that's pretty good compensation for doing content. You know, it's definitely not what I make at my hourly job. I mean, if you break it down by hours, $2 maybe an hour. I'm making Sonic drive-through hop hours. Hey, that's what I'm making. But, and it's really not about how much. It just kind of shocked me. And like I said, this just really helps me to purchase items and, you know, to complete items. I don't rely on this as an income. I don't. But I do rely on it to help offset my costs. Or my husband would probably never let me do it. Let me quilt the way I do. Well, I don't know. He really doesn't care, I don't think. But the amount of things that I purchase, he would kind of be like, you know, put a serious slowdown to it. Because, I mean, y'all, last year alone, y'all would be floored at the amount that I spent. Which I was floored when I saw it. So that's why this year is like really reined in. Because I was like, I really did not spend that amount of money last year, did I? And then I had to think about how many projects I got completed. And that's when my husband started asking me when I was going to start selling my quilts. And I'm like, I'm not selling no quilts. I'm not selling anything. But I may, you know, as time goes on, I realize I've got an overflowing stock. Y'all, I could not have fussy cut that better. Look at that. Get it where you can see it. Beautiful, dear. Could not have fussy cut that better. I didn't fussy cut it. That's just how it happened, because when I go cutting my strips. Oh, and y'all, I use the Stripology, the creative, I think it's Creative Grids. This is what I use right here. I do have a link down in the description for that. Some people may not need that big of a grid. It goes up to 20 inches. It's the extra large one. That is an older one. So it doesn't look like the one you'll see online, but I do have a link for the one online. So if you are interested in one of those, I'm going to tell y'all that has been a game changer for me on making cuts where I have to do a lot of cuts. It makes a world of difference having a ruler that is so fabulous. Okay, guys, so now what I'm going to do is take these off, cut them apart, and lay them in order. I will have to press, which is going to be a little tricky, because when I press, I just throw them out over here on my pressing table, but my pressing table right now is full. So this is the last one to the first one. Is how I'm going to do that. I need to press these, and I will press them to the center square. It doesn't say how to press here. Let me look to see if it tells how to press. It doesn't really say how to press. It just shows putting two squares together and then pressing it one direction. Well, it actually shows pressing to the right, and being that I want to press to my center square, I will turn it to where that center square is the press to the right. So guys, I will be right back with you once I get these pressed, and we will add our third piece to this. I now have my 2 blocks all done. The next thing I will be adding is I add that to the top according to my directions here. So we are going to add this to the top. So I'm going to keep this square up here on my table. That way I can keep from knocking them off. And some of these have directions, like I have a moose right there on the top. Guys, it looks like I fussy cut a lot of this, and I promise I did not. But it is going to be cute, cute. We will do the same as before. I'm going to chain stitch these together. And then do exactly the same when I take them apart. Now see, that one there is upside down, but it's not going to matter, because these don't have heads on them. I cut the heads off. Well, that's just where it landed in the cutting of the fabric. But this is my rendition of a jelly roll quilt. Everything, even though I had yardage, now I don't know about the borders. But even though I had yardage, like this right here, let me find a smaller piece. This cream that's kind of the sashing, it was all cut down still to a strip. So if you could get like a Bella Solid or something in whatever color, you could probably get like a print jelly roll and a solid jelly roll and make the inside of this quilt, not the borders, because like I said, I haven't even looked at the borders, you know, how to cut that. I can look at that real quick and see. The middle border, yes, looks like that one can be cut into strips, and the outer border, well, the outer border cannot be cut into strips, but the inner border can and the stars can. So the only thing that is not cut into like a jelly roll strip is your outer border. So technically you could probably get away with a print jelly roll, a solid jelly roll, which yardage is cheaper. Something happened here. I missed one somewhere. Oh, there it is. Guys, I missed one of my things over here. That's a good thing, knowing which one is should have a matching piece and which one does not, because when you come up to it, you'll know for sure. It's very noticeable. And like I said, this is the first time I've ever made a log cabin, so I am excited. We have a first here, a log cabin. But when I was looking for patterns, I wanted something different. I didn't want just your standard log cabin quilt. I wanted something that was just a little bit different. Now this one, something's not mathing here. It looks like I've got a piece that is not working. I've got two pieces here that's not working. Well, they do look like they're cut. Well, that one does. That one doesn't. Okay, I am going to have to take this one apart. It looks like I might have grabbed an end remnant, thinking it was part of my blocks. But it will not take me but just 2 seconds, really, to cut another one out. So now that I have that fixed, how am I going to do this to keep things in order? Because now I've got a different step here. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to do this. First thing I'm going to do is put the other piece back under the needle. I promise it's not going to hurt to sew something a second time. So now I have my piece completed, and I just resume where I was at. Sometimes you may find those, and that doesn't happen frequently, but it looks like all I did was picked up a scrap piece that looked like it was the right size, not realizing it was a scrap piece, or otherwise I would have measured it. So guys, what I did see a lot of people saying they weren't going to get to do a jelly roll today. I'm happy to be able to get a jelly roll out of my stash. I love a jelly roll. It is one of my favorite cuts of fabric. It is the very first, back up. The very first quilts I ever made, now a lot of y'all have heard the story, was for my granddaughter. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know these things were called jelly rolls. I was just looking for fabric. I didn't even know I had a quilt shop in my local area. But I found a pattern, and it called for a jelly roll. So, I just go out there and start Googling and find a jelly roll. I think I actually purchased it from Amazon. I don't remember where I purchased it from. It was Bunny Hill Designs Sugarberry. I saw it and I fell in love with those fabrics. And that is the very first quilts I made. So I kind of have a fondness for the jelly roll, because that was my gateway fabric, y'all. And if somebody tells you that quilting is not addictive, their pants are on fire. Very much on fire. Because quilting is very addictive. If you have a creative personality, like I do, I love to create. I start a lot of things and I finish very few. That is why my YouTube channel started. because I start a lot of things and I finish very few, and I needed accountability. And if the craftsman does not show you the type of accountability I needed, that is the quilt that I bound on Friday. I don't know what would prove that to you. I started that quilt January 31st, 2024. That was the very first video. Now, granted, I might have recorded that video a day or two before that. But we're going to just say January 31st, 2024. And I bound it September, what was 19th. Well, actually 18th. I recorded that a day ahead. I bound it September 18th, 2025. A year and 8 months, I think, difference. But it's done, and I put it on my bed. Y'all, that thing fits my bed. It even hangs over on the sides. Maybe it just needs a little extra on the sides, but it hangs over on the sides. It fits. So the one I made to fit my bed is probably going to hang almost to the floor, which I have a high bed, so it really doesn't matter. Most of the time I get like king size bedspreads and stuff because I like my cover to come down a little bit lower. I don't like people seeing under my bed. But I don't know. I need to see under my bed. I realized the other day I've got about 5 shoes. I'm not even going to say pairs because I can't find the other shoe. I bet they're under my bed. But I'm afraid to get down there and start looking for them because I may not be able to get back up once I get down there. My knee may not let me get up. But I'm really happy to have found this pattern. It's a beautiful pattern. I can see this being done in multiple different lines. If you don't recall the picture, it's called Star Watch. See if I could turn it where you can see it really good. I didn't want just your standard jelly roll quilt, you know. I wanted something to be a little creative. So I know this is not going to be a quilt in a day type of situation. That's not going to happen. This is going to be something that I work on probably a couple days a week until it's done. I can probably finish all of the blocks in a couple days if I just sit and sew, but I don't really have a lot of time like that, but I can dedicate at least 1 hour a week to it for a couple weeks to get it done. But I hope to have it done really soon. Y'all probably are seeing this on Sunday, and if not, that means I got busy. That means I did nothing but videos editing on Saturday. But I know I am going to be off of social media today. You know, like I said, it's mine and my husband's. It is mine and my husband's 17th anniversary. That just means, guys, now I've never been arrested, so let me prelude this. And no, I would never harm my husband. I would never harm anyone. That just means I got good, strong will, because anybody knows that's married, you have your good, your bad, and when you wake up, you go, I married this. Like an unruly child, he talks back. The other day, we were talking about, you know, how long we'd been married. I said, yeah, neither one of us is in an insane asylum or the grave yet. I say we're successful. Because although as I have gotten older, and what y'all see here appears like I'm an outgoing, you know, social butterfly. Once I get to know you, I can be. But I really am a homebody. I love being at home. I love shopping, but I love being at home. I don't have an issue being at home and away from people, in quiet. You know, I could be at home. My husband always tells me when I mention we should move to Alaska, he always like, you wouldn't be able to live there because there's nothing to do there. I'm like, dude, we live in the country already. He's like, yeah, but Walmart and Sam's is not a 15-20 minute drive. He's like, it's like a 2-hour drive. I'm fine with that. Hey, I would rather order it and they bring it to my house. I found an end table that I really liked, and I thought, well, that'll go good with my TV center. My TV center, God, it was kitchen cabinets. This man and wife, they did a remodel on their home, and they have built their own kitchen cabinets. And I'm trying to think what it was out of. But perfect. Because it's got drawers at the top. And it's a distressed, like shabby chic look. I like the country, you know, farmhouse look. It's really not country farmhouse. It's kind of like French country, shabby chic look. But I definitely do not like modern. No, I do not like that. But I am looking for a small lamp because I'm getting rid of these big lamps that I have, and I got a floor lamp. I was telling y'all about that one. And it's like a blue distressed lamp, wooden lamp. I wanted wood. I did not want metal that coating could peel and all that and just be a mess. Wood, if it peels or something like that, that's character. Metal, that's cheap. Guys, I have already got the third piece on my block. This is going by really quickly. But each block has 7 pieces on it, I believe. Now, I know anything that's got the long piece is the top of the block, so that makes it easier. And I found a way to press over here that I'm not on my other blocks over here. That's my 25 pieces. I pulled out my Martelli roundabout and set it on top of it because it doesn't grab it, so it's not pulling my fabric or anything. And I just set it on top of that and do like three blocks at a time. So I'm fixing to iron again and be right back. Okay, I have the 3 patches sewn together now. So my next step is to add a block down here. And guys, I didn't realize, I don't even know why I didn't think about it. I didn't have to press that. I could have just kept on keeping on and sewing. But it looks like this is as far as we're going to get adding this second piece on the bottom. And I'll pick it up tomorrow for you guys. I'm not going to stop. But my husband did just get in, so I want to get to a point where if things do get knocked off my table or something, that I'll have this 4th fabric on here because it will pair up with my stacks. But we're going to go on and get this 4th piece on to get me to a stopping point. And that will leave me with 3 more pieces. So we can, I guess, call this a 4-patch, even though it's not they're not all the same size. But it is a 4-patch. It's 4 pieces of fabric. Now, when I'm putting anything directional on this, I will put it the right side. I will put it right side up because I am sewing it from the bottom. I've got it turned upside down. So I put it right side up so when I flip it will be the correct orientation. Okay, so I've had a little fabric spoofoo going on here. At first I cut it how it said in the pattern, but apparently I did something wrong. Because even when I was matching up my blocks, you would think you'd have enough to make pairs. Well, I didn't. And now I noticed I had put the wrong one of one with another, and because they were the same color, and for some reason I guess they just looked like the same fabric to me. I had paired it with the wrong fabric. That could have been part of, no, because now see, I'm having two of the same color here. I don't like doing two of the same color. I'm not going to switch it out. It's just too much trouble to try to find additional colors to work with. And I can promise you my son will know no difference. He will not realize that it's not how it's supposed to be. So what we're doing today is just finishing this up, getting the 4-patch done, and we'll come back tomorrow and work on adding the rest of it. I have a feeling this is going to be like a 3-session quilt, maybe more. But it is a beautiful quilt, and a log cabin has been on my wish list for a while to do. So that is what I'm doing now, is getting on my wish list. The other thing on my wish list is a potato chip quilt, and I know that people tell me those are easy, but it gets down, my potato chip quilt is going to be a scrappy quilt, so I have to get a color scheme going. Like, am I going to have red, white, and blue? If that's the case, I could use all of my scraps from the land that I love and all of my patriotic quilts I've made. And like this is kind of a woodlandy fabric. I can take this and make it into potato chip quilts. Just do a 2.5 by whatever it is. Get whatever I can get cut out of it done, because that is going to be one of my things I do hopefully this week, is go through my scraps, get my scraps, tended to, downsized, minimized, cut up into pieces and put in project boxes. So that is probably going to mean I've got to decide what kind of quilt I'm going to do. If it's going to be a potato chip quilt, I need to know what the hues are going to be, and I will pull all of that out. Now, why do I have the same fabric? Yeah, I don't recall having the same print in 2 different colors. Now, like the moose and things aren't really a big deal, but like these Aztec looking designs, but I'm just going with it. And here I have another one where I've got a white and a plaid. Something's off. Something is off. I'm just going with it though. I can't today. I must have picked up in the wrong direction or something. That's the only thing I can think. But I don't think that's what I did. And see, this one here even matches the center block. It is what it is, and we're going with the flow. There, by the time I got to the end of making my sets, which these are at the end of my sets, I was just grabbing fabric. I was just trying to have fabric. I'm trying to think what would be an easier way to do this to make sure that you don't have duplicate patterns in similar colors. Like I have a white with the moose, and then I have a blue with the moose, and those are okay. Now, y'all, I just thought about this. I've been pulling out of my other jelly roll strips. Like when I have fabric issues, I just cut some more off and slide it in. But I just thought, I'm a piece shy. I am a piece shy. Okay, guys. I'm going to have to undo all of these all the way back to the fifth one. That is why all of them were coming up wrong. Because as far back as the fifth one, I missed picking up a piece. So y'all, I'm gonna call it a day. And I started wondering, why do I have two and only one piece of fabric? So yeah, that could be why a lot of those were not looking right. So what I'm going to do is take these off my machine, undo all the way back to number 5. So I'm going to undo 20, well, 18 of them, because 2 of them I did not get done. But I will come back tomorrow and we will work on this some more. We'll see. We will see. I'm hoping to be able to get all of this undone, redone, back in order, and come back to y'all tomorrow. This is Saturday when I'm recording. I hope y'all see this evening. But tomorrow is Sunday, and I will work on this some more this evening for you guys. So, yeah. Like I said, if it can happen, I'm going to do it. And it's not a sewing day if I'm not pulling out my seam ripper. So friends, thank you so much for joining me today. Give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you have not yet. And if you are subscribed, make sure to check and make sure you're still subscribed. Because I've had several people tell me they've had to resubscribe because some reason they got unsubscribed somehow. It happens. But we're going to... I'm just going to remind you, just checking. If you want to be subscribed, please do. I do like to bring lots of content. I bring a video out every day. And as of today, I'm bringing out a second one. But please subscribe. Leave a comment. I do respond. I do try to respond to each and every comment personally. And as always, until I see you again, I hope you have a very blessed day. Bye, guys.